direct memory access, are also known as DMA. The IC of DMA 8237. So direct memory access. In the name itself, it says memory is directly accessed by the input output device, or IO device can access data from the memory without helping of the central processing unit. Normally, see how internally data is transmitted within the computer system. Suppose any input output device want to access data from the memory. First, it will send to the central processing unit through the bus. This bus is the system bus. Internally, it consists address bus, data bus, control bus, and from there, central processing unit will transmit to the memory. Same, if memory want to give or transmit any data to the input output device, first this memory should be accessed by the CPU, and CPU will transmit the data to the IO device through the buses. Like this, normally data transmitted within the computer system. But sometimes when there is a blocks of data or huge amount of data, in the sense some bulk amount of data want to transmit between any input output device to the memory, or memory to the input output device, a separate processor or controller is used for transmitting of data between IO device to the memory, or memory to the IO device. Why this DMA will prefer direct memory access? It is a normally it is a controller. We already know a controller is also a processor. Why this DMA is mainly used in systems? Check that when there is a huge or bulk data is transmitted between IO device and the memory device. Now the data should be transmitted through the bus. First CPU. CPU is accessed. Then CPU only transmit the data to the memory. When CPU transmitting a huge amounts of the data, then CPU always spending busy with the data transmission. Cause of that, CPU feels somewhat burden or takes the more time for transmission of data between IO and memory. Cause of that, automatically the speed of the system will become somewhat low. To increase the data speed between IO device to the memory, or memory to the IO device, a special controller is placed between the two components. That is called DMA. The name itself, direct memory access. Once this is placed between these two components, this DMA will request the CPU, central processing unit, Once DMA is requested the CPU, the buses of the CPU will be granted to the DMA for some time. Until that time, CPU can't do any task. Why? Because if CPU want to do any transmission, that with the buses only. But once DMA started its transmission, the buses are hand over to the DMA. There is a signals called DMA request and bus grant. We will see in the next slides. Using the control signals, the buses are hand over to the DMA. Then using that buses, DMA will transmit data between these two components. After transmission has been complete, these buses hand over to the again central processing unit and it will perform as normal operation. Check the features of 8237 or simply DMA. It has mainly 4 independent DMA channels. Independent means each channel can transmit data from one IO device to the memory and memory to the one IO device. Like that, multiple IO devices at the same time can be transmitted with these DMA channels. Like that, 4 independent DMA channels are presented. And also using this DMA, not only IO to memory, memory to IO data is transmitted, but also can transmit the memory to memory also. Sometimes we will attach an extra hard disk to our system. Hard disk is an memory device only. If we want to transmit that hard disk data to your system, yeah, that should be communicated with your cache memories, main memories while data transmission. At that cases also DMA will helpful to transmit your hard disk data to your internal memory components. Internally it has few registers, that address registers, word count registers, increment decrement registers. We will see that registers in the next slide. And also through the one computer system we can connect the multiple DMAs. Not only with the single DMA, we can also attach with the multiple DMAs for increasing of data transmission rate between your computer components. Now see the block diagram of direct memory transfer or internal architecture of 8237. It mainly consists of timing and control unit and priority encoder circuit and data bus and address buses and internal registers. Timing and control unit consists the following signals: EOP, end of process, reset, chip select, ready, clock signal, address enable signal, address stop signal, memory read, memory write, IO read, IO write. We will see the working of each signal in the next coming slide. And priority encoder circuit receiving some of the inputs and some of the giving outputs. If you observe here, DRQ02, DRQ3, totally 4 are there. These are called DMA request channels. There are 4 DMA channels are there. I given in the previous slide 4 DMA channels, that are DMA request channel 0 to the DMA request channel 3, and also DMA acknowledgement 0 to the DMA acknowledgement 3. The main purpose of this DRQ02, DRQ3, totally 4 channels are there. Nothing but through each channel a input output device can make request to the DMA for transferring purpose. Like that, more number of input output devices can give at the same time a request to the DMA controller. Then DMA will start executing of this logic. Now observe here, priority logic. Nothing but, why priority given? When multiple input output devices asking request DMA using this priority logic, the DMA acknowledgement will be provided. DMA acknowledgement 0 to the DMA acknowledgement 3. Nothing but totally 4 acknowledgement channels are there. Same like DMA request channels, DMA acknowledgement. For each request there is an each acknowledgement given by the DMA. And observe, HLDA is the input signal, hold acknowledgement signal, which comes from the processor, and HRQ signal, hold request signal, which will goes to the processor from the DMA. We will see this all pins in the next slide. And observe data bus DB0 to DB7. Through this data bus only data is transmitted between IO devices and the peripheral, and also using this data bus, this total 8237 is programmed. Nothing but controlling steps has been given through this data bus only. And rest of all are internal registers of DMA controller. We will see each register how they will work. Command register, mask register, request register, mode, how many modes are presented, status registers, temporary registers, and decrement, increment registers, and base address register, base word count register, current address register, current word count register. We will see one by one in the coming slide. Based on the previous architecture, the 8237 has totally 40 pins. Now observe here, the 40 pins are given. One to 40. Now check the IOR signal. The name itself, input output read signal. When peripheral device want to read data from the DMA, this IOR signal is issued. Then IOW, if data want to write, IOW is issued. If memory want to read, then memory read issued. If memory want to write, memory is issued. When NC is there, no connection. nothing but not working condition. Next, ready signal. When DMA is started to transmit the data using this high signal, DMA start transmitting of the data. HLDA signal, nothing but hold acknowledgement. Actually, this signal is given by the 8237, is received by the 8237 from the processor system. The meaning of HLDA is the microprocessor give its buses to the 8237 for data transmission purpose. That is HLDA, hold acknowledgement. Next, address strobe signal. It is an communication signal between DMA as well as the peripherals of the system. Then AEN, address enable system. Using this AEN, if any other buses are there that are going to be disabled by the AEN making a high signal. Why? Because when DMA transferring its operation, other buses are not performing any operations. Yeah, if it is a multiprocessor system, definitely there should be a multi-bus architecture. When DMA is transforming, some buses are maybe working. That's why when this AEN is enabled, other buses which are not using, that are in disable. Next, hold request signal. This is given by the DMA to the processor. Nothing but I am holding the buses until completion of the tasks. I mean data transmission. CS bar, nothing but low signal, enables this DMA. Clock, for every clock pulse, the data transmission is going to be synchronized with the internal components. Reset, for every operation, all registers, DMA controller, processor, DMA is going to be resetted. Next, DACK, these are these DMA acknowledgement signals and DMA request signals. DMA request signals are given by the peripheral devices to the DMA, and DMA acknowledgement signal given by the DMA to the peripheral devices. Next, DB7 to DB0 are the data bus pins to transmit the data between the components, and also used to program the 8237 bypassing control commands. Then A0 to A7 are the address lines used to transmit the addresses. There is a two addresses use like A0 to A3 and A0 to A7. When A0 to A3 use, nothing but DMA working under a slave mode under the main processor. When A0 to A7 address bits are combinedly used, then DMA is working independently. That is the difference. Observe, when A0 to A3 use, DMA working under slave mode under the main microprocessor. When A0 to A7 use, then DMA working as a master. Nothing but total transmission controls taken by the DMA controller. Now check the beside of the diagram. Control signals from and to memory given. Control signals from and to input output devices given. From memory and from peripherals. Now check these signals which are incoming to the memory, which are outgoing to the memory and which are incoming to the 8237 and which are outgoing to the 8237. You can observe each and every signal. This address lines bidirectional given, nothing but 8237 and peripherals. They can exchange the addresses, and data lines are also bidirectional, and this is an address strobe signal unidirectional. From the 8237 it is going to peripherals. This is also address enable signal. This is also going from 8237 to disable the other buses if any use. Yeah, these are also outgoing signals from the DMA. These are bidirectional signals. IOW. EOP is nothing but end of data transmission process. End of process. Next, ready input signal, reset input signal, clock input signal. These all are input to the DMA, and these are handshaking signals. DMA request channel from the peripheral giving request signal to the DMA. These are outgoing signals going from the DMA to give acknowledgement. Hold request. This will use to the main microprocessor. I am holding the buses like that. 8237 will give, and this is the acknowledgement signal. The processor is granting it buses to the 8237. And EOP nothing but same here, end of process, communication between peripherals as well as the memory systems. Now we'll see the 8237 internal registers or DMA internal registers, which mainly used for data transmission purpose. Base address register. It's a 16-bit registers that stores the initial address from where the data transfer will takes place in DMA. When DMA will start the transfer purpose, then it will loads the initial address of the data. Next, base word count register. Simply how many number of words or data items it should be transferred. So DMA transferring 8-bit, 16-bit, 32-bit, it will count it. How many bits or bytes of data it will transforming, that will be stored in base word count register. Next, current address register. It is also a 16-bit registers that stores the memory address for DMA data transfer. Now, what is the data presented in memory? Address of that data will be stored in current address register. So previous base address register stores the initial address of the DMA. Check that initial address of the DMA where it will start transformation. Current address register stores the memory address from where DMA started for data transmission. And also each DMA channel having these registers. DMA channel 0 having current address register, channel 1 having current address register, and also channel 2, channel 3 also having these current address registers. Next, current word count register. It is also a 16-bit register that stores the how many number of transfers remaining to be performed. How many number of transfers remains. Same like word count registers. If it is transfer 10 words or 10 bytes, once transformation started, this word count register will decrements by 1 until word count register will becomes 0, the data transmission will performs. Next, temporary address register. It is also a 16-bit register that stores the address of the data during memory to memory transfer. Suppose while transferring memory to memory data transfer, this temporary address register stores the address of the data. Normally, I said DMA controller will places in between peripherals and the memories. Sometimes a memory is also a peripheral device. Yeah, memory to memory also transfers by the DMA. Then temporary word count register, which is also a 16-bit register that stores the number of transfers to be performed during memory to memory transfer. So same like in previous, how many number? 8, 10, 20, 30, like that, some number or simply length of the data. Each and every data transmission happens, that register decrements by 1. Status register, it is an 8-bit register that indicate which channel is currently under DMA services. 4 channels are there. Which channel is currently working, which channel is currently not working, that status will be decided. We will see status register in next slide. Then command register, it's a 8-bit register that controls the overall DMA. The DMA must be instructed before it's performing an operation, or simply programmed before it performing transfer. We will see that command register in the coming slide. Next, temporary register, it's an 8-bit register that holds data during memory to memory data transfer, and also it consists the last byte transferred in previous memory to memory transfer operation, and also holds the last byte which is performed in last DMA transfer operation. Mode register, it's an 8-bit register but not 8 all utilized. You will check in next slide, coming slide. The transfer mode, and it mainly determines the transfer modes. There are 4 transfer modes are there. We will see it in next slide. Next, mask register, it's a 8-bit register but not all 8 utilized, only 4-bit register use. It is a 4-bit utilized only, that is used to mask a channel from the requesting the DMA services. Particular channel requesting, 4 channels are there, which channel is requesting, which channel is not requesting, which channel is currently working, which channel is not currently working, that information is known by this mask register. Then request register, it's also same like 8-bit but not all utilized 8, only 4-bit utilized. It is used to request the DMA data transfer by the program. It determines which channel is requesting for the data transfer. This is also we will see in the coming slide. Just verify every register is given with how many number of bits, what's the purpose of them. We'll see in next coming slides. See the internal registers of 8237. In DMA, we said in the architecture the number of internal registers are presented. Now see the internal registers. CAR, current address register. So in the name itself, it will stores the current address of the data. When DMA transferring data, the data address must be stored in current address register. We already know there are 4 DMA channels are there. Every DMA channel having individual current address register, which is the 16-bit address register. When data transferred during DMA, this current address register may be incremented or decremented. Now check the here CAR indicating current address register data, what is presented the data. So to get to you, I was given some address location 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are the addresses, and D1, D2, D3 and so on. D7 are the data. When DMA start transmitting, now current address register first stores the 0. This is the first data address of the data D1, stores the current address register. Next here we use increment of CAR, that's why CAR will become 1. Next address of data 2, nothing but 1. Same address register increments by 1 and so on. Totally 7 data items are given with these addresses. Each and every time when DMA transfers the data, this CAR increments. CAR holds the address of the current data what it is transmitting. Next, current word count register. This word count register stores the total number of data items, or simply the length of the total data, or simply how many data items are transformed during DMA processing. Now check that I consider in the above 0 to 6, I consider totally 6 data items. Actually 7, but I was given 0 to 6. That's why total word count 6 only. Actually 7, but I am not considering 0. Now each and every time a data is transmitting, this word count register will decrements by 1. Now 6 will become 5, 5 will become 4, 4 will become 3 and so on till this word count register will become 0. The DMA will transfers the data. Command register CR. Actually this command register used to control the DMA. This command register should be programmed to control the DMA transfer operations. It is an 8-bit register. This will tells to the DMA which channel is going to be selected for operation. Like 4 channels are there, DRQ0 to the DRQ3 and DAC0 to the DAC4. See, DRQ nothing but DMA request, DAC nothing but DMA acknowledgements. Which channel 0, 1, 2, 3, which channel is used for data transmission purpose, that should be programmed. Then only this DMA controller will knows channel 0 used for transfer, channel 1 used for transfer, channel 2 used for transfer, or channel 3 used for transfer. Now check that command register and the bit positions. It is an 8-bit register. Now bit 0, use memory to memory enable or disable, nothing but DMA transferring data between IO device to memory device or memory to memory device. If it is transmitting memory to memory, the bit 0 will decide. Bit 0, 1 indicating yes, memory to memory transferring, 0 indicating memory to memory disabling. Next, bit 1 indicating channel 0 operations. Bit 1, if it is a 1, channel 0 holds the address enable. If it is 0, indicating address disable. Next, bit 2 indicating the DMA controller. 1, it's a disable, 0, it's a enable. Same, bit 3 indicating 0 normal operation and 1 indicating compressed timing signals. Yes, there is option is there. DMA can perform normal operation or DMA can perform it's minimizing, nothing but compressed timing signal. Next, bit 4 indicating fixed priority, 1 indicating rotating priority. So what do you mean by fixed priority, rotating priority? Actually 4 DMA channels are there. When a particular DMA is requested, particular DMA channel is requested, only one is requested, immediately that channel will respond. There may be a chance 4 peripheral devices may be a request the 4 DMA channels. At that time, this priority bit will decide. Priority is given for DMA request channels. Next, 5th bit will decides the write, transfer operation. If it is 0, yeah, transfer is late. If it is a 1, yeah, it is extending write selection. Write is nothing but transfer only. Next, 6th bit indicating DMA request high channel, 1 indicating DMA request low channel. Next, 7th bit indicating acknowledgement signals. If it is 0, DMA acknowledgement low. If it is a 1, DMA acknowledgement high. This total command register will tells to the DMA you are transferring data which mode and which channel and with which timing. Like that, this command register used to controlling the DMA controller. Next, mode register. There are 4 modes are there to perform DMA transfer, that are given: single mode transfer and block mode transfer and demand mode transfer and cascade mode transfer. This is an 8-bit register If you observe first 2 bit, 0 bit, 1 bit, totally 4 channels used for selecting of a particular DMA channel. If it is 0 0, channel 0 selected, 0 1, channel 1 selected, 1 0, channel 2 selected, 1 1, channel 3 selected for data transfer. Next, bit 2 and 3 will decides the read data transfer or write data transfer. Nothing but reading data, writing data. If it is 0 0, simply it will check the your transfer is performing or not. Transfer is verified 0 0. If it is 0 1, write transfer. If it is 1 0, read transfer. If it is a 1 1, that is nothing but no operation or some illegal operations are going to be performed. Next, bit indicating fourth bit, any authentications like 0 bit indicating authentication disable, 1 bit indicating authentication enables. Like DMA channel is sending memory to input output device or input output device to memory or memory to memory. The two must be authenticated for establishing a data transmission. Next, fifth bit indicating your address is decremented or incremented. If that is 0, address is incremented. If it is 1, address is decremented. Next, two modes will decide the mode selection. If it is 0 0, demand mode, 0 1, single mode, 1 0, block mode, 1 1, cascade mode. See what do you mean by single mode? Single mode means the DMA will performs the one data item for transfer or only one cycle used for data transfer. That is called single mode data transfer. Block mode transfer, nothing but a couple of data items or a block of data used for data transfer. While it is transferring block of data, it will use current address register and word count register. With the help of word count register, it will stores the number of blocks. If it is 8 blocks are there, word count register stores the 8. With the word count register, there is a terminal count register is there. The terminal count TC we will call, that equals to the how many number of words presented in word count register. I said it is an 8. While transforming this 8 words, the TC will decrements by 1, nothing but terminal count decrements by 1. So how many blocks given? 8. If 8 transmitted, the TC automatically terminated. When terminal count or simply word count register will become 0, the DMA transfer will completed. That is the block mode select. Then demand mode transfer. In demand mode transfer, the total, there is no single, there is no block, more number of data items will be transmitted. Same like in block mode data transmission, here also word count register and a terminal count register used. Before DMA performing data transfer, the DMA must calculate the how much amount of the data I should transform, what is the starting address of the data, and what is the ending address of the data. Here starting address as well as the ending address both will known by the DMA. When it performing the transfer information. And cascade mode transfer is nothing but more number of DMAs are connected to your processor for data transmission. Cascade one by one, one by one, one by one, like that. More number of DMAs, 8237A, 8237B, 8237C, like that. More number of DMAs are connected cascadely for transmitting of a huge amounts of the data transfer when it performs. Next up, bus request register. In the name itself, bus request. When DMA performing its data transmission, it must require buses. The buses which are with the main central processing unit or simply a CPU. Now it is an 8-bit register. Now see, the bit will decide the which DMA channel is requesting the bus. If it is 00, now see, bit 0, bit 1 of that bus request register. If 00, channel 0 is selected for data transfer. 01, channel 1 selected. 10, channel 2 selected. 11, channel 3 selected. And observe second bit ma. The second bit will decide the requesting of the bus. That is an 0, request is resetted. If it is a 1, set request bit. While data transmitting, the DMA must and should require buses. The bus granting, the bus holding will decide this bus request register. Next, observe the mask register set or register. The mask register set or resets. In the name itself, it will set or resets the channels. If we want to allocate a particular channel or don't want to allocate particular channel, total 4 channels are there, 0, 1, 2, 3. If any particular channel only want to transmit or particular channel disables, that will be decided by this register. Now observe which channel are going to be select. Now it is also a 8-bit register. First 2 bits will decide, bit 0, bit 1. If both are 0, 0, channel 0 is selected. 0, 1, channel 1 selected. 1, 0, channel 2 selected. If it is 1, 1, channel 3 selected. Once particular channel is selected, the next bit will decides that particular channel is masked or unmasked. What do you mean by masked, unmasked? If mask is setted, the channel is disabled. If mask is not setted, the channel is enabled. So for enabling, disabling that particular channel, this register will helpful. Now bit 2 will decides the mask bits. If it is 0, mask is cleared. If it is a 1, mask is setted. Once mask is set, the channel is disabled. Disable means that particular channel is not going to be used for data transfer by the DMA. Rest of 5 bits don't care. Same in the previous also, first 3 bits utilized. Next 5 bits are don't care. Nothing but they are not used for data transmission purpose. Only first 3 bits will be used. Next, mask register. The mask register will clears or sets all of the masks with single command. So previously a particular channel is selected and that is used for masking. Particular channel is not selected and that is used for unmasking, like that. But here this mask register will decides with a single command all four channels is masked or unmasked. Now check that bit 0. Bit 0, if it is 0, channel is cleared. Which channel? 0. Clear channel 0 mask bit. If it is 1, set the channel 0 mask bit. We already know if mask is set at, that is disable. If mask is not set at, that is enable. Now first bit channel 1 mask is clear. If it is 1, set channel 1 mask bit. Next bit 2 0 clear channel second mask bit. 1 set channel 2 mask bit. Bit 3 0 clear channel 3 mask bit and 1 set channel 3 mask bit. Once again I am repeating, when the bit is set at, that particular channel disables. Next check the status register. The status register shows the status of each DMA channel. So how many channels are there? 4 DMA channels. The particular channel status can be known by the status register. Now check the with 0, bit 0. If bit 0, channel 0 has reached TC. TC means terminal count. In the previous slide I explained what is called terminal count. The terminal count nothing but total number of data items used for transmission purpose. Once TC completed or terminal count will become 0, the DMA transfer completed. That is the indication TC. Here the TC bits indicating the channel has reached its terminal count. Once terminal count reached, now DMA what it will think? Yes, total data items are completed. Now observe bit 0 will decides the channel 0 reached its terminal count. There 1 indicating channel 0 reached terminal count ma. If it is 0 indicating channel 0 is not reached. Same bit 1 indicating if it is a 1, channel 1 has reached its terminal count. Same bit 3 indicating next channel has reached to its terminal count. Bit 3 indicating next channel has reached its terminal count. Next bit 4 indicating channel 0 is requested, and bit 5 indicating channel 1 requested, bit 6 indicating channel 2 requested, bit 7 indicating channel 3 requested. So this DMA request indicating the peripheral device is requesting the particular channel for data transmission purpose. The first 4 bit indicating the terminal count, nothing but channels are reached its completion or not. Last 4 bits indicating which channel has requested the peripheral for DMA transmission purpose, like channel 0 na, channel 1 na, channel 2 na, channel 3 na, like that they will decide. Next check that modes of DMA transfer which I was given in the previous slides. Single mode, data transfer mode, block mode data transfer, DMA transfer, demand mode data transfer, cascaded mode DMA transfer. So observe the first three explained there. Now see here last cascaded mode. In cascaded mode, how many DMAs connected? Observe here. 8237 1, 8237 2, 8237 3. 3 DMAs are connected to your single processor system. Cascaded indicating one by one like that, multiple DMA transfers. Now here 3 additional DMAs are connected for transfer. So why we will prefer more DMAs means to increase the overall performance of your system when it is transferring the huge amounts of the data. Suppose if you are transmitting 4 hard disk drives connected, or 2 hard disk drives extra you attached, or some extra floppy disks you attached to your computer, so definitely data should be, if you want to complete as much as faster your data transmission, then more DMAs are there, data transmission obviously more. That's why more DMAs are preferred, like in a cascaded mode. Now check the how our 8086 microprocessor will interact with the DMA system. Now observe, this is your memory system, this is your peripheral device, and here our DMA controller is presented, here our microprocessor. Normally to transfer data from memory to peripheral device, nothing but input output device, or input output device to memory through the 8086 processor and buses only done. Like if peripheral want to transmit the data, they will give first information to the 8086, or 8086 will receive data from the peripheral and 8086 will transmit data to the memory. Or if it want to transfer data from memory to peripheral device, first 8086 processor reads the data from memory and transfer the data to the peripheral device. But observe, when DMA is connected to your computer processor system, when DMA is connected, first your peripheral device asking DMA controller through the DMA request. Now take any one example, keyboard is asking, keyboard is the example of input device. Now one input device is requesting the DMA controller, then immediately DMA giving its acknowledgement to the peripheral device. When it is giving its acknowledgement, then DMA will ask the 8086 processor. Why it is asking 8086 processor this request? HRQ is nothing but requesting of the buses main CPU. Through this signal, hold HRQ hold request, hold request. Through this signal, the DMA controller asking the 8086 processor, please provide your buses for data transmission. Immediately the 8086 processor will give its acknowledgement. This is an hold acknowledgement. Once acknowledgement is given, the DMA understands CPU is giving its buses to the DMA. Once buses are received, now DMA will transmit data from memory to the peripheral device, or peripheral device to the memory. Once DMA completed its task, again DMA will give the buses back to the 8086 microprocessor. Like that, data transmission has been done with the DMA controller. Now same given in a sequence of steps one, or simply DMA transmission is given in a flowchart format. Now check the flowchart format ma. First step, DMA requested. Who requested? Peripheral device. Once peripheral device is requested the DMA, immediately DMA is giving its acknowledgement. Once acknowledgement is given, now DMA accessing the memory. Just before accessing the memory, it will ask the CPU by for the releasing of buses. Once buses are released to the DMA, now DMA will start accessing of its memory. Once accessing of memory is done, what is in memory? In memory, addresses are there, data are there. Once it is accessed the address, then immediately it will transfer the data between peripheral device to the memory or memory to the peripheral device. Now it will checking total data transfer is completed or not. If not completed, and again it will checking in the memory, is there any remaining data is there for transmission. So until total data transmission completes, this will under like a loop. How much data to be transmitted? The total data is allowed for data transmission. Once transfer is completed, now check that why, nothing but yes, data transmission is completed, yes, completed, then terminates the DMA. Once the DMA terminated, the DMA buses, actually that buses are not the DMA, that buses are the CPU. Once data transfer completed by the DMA, again the buses which are having the DMA will given back to the main CPU. Like that, data transmission has been done in the DMA based system.